on this fine Tuesday, July 23rd.
Woo, somebody's birthday meeting. Now.
People know I'm struggling, so it's just like, just be. Stop talking. Stop talking. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, wait, record. Hold on. Oh, she's already having it recording. Okay. All right, so are we ready to get started? Alan Rosenberg, come on. Get over here.
Okay.
And we have a smorgasbord of food before you eat it.
Oh my God, you have.
I know, I can do this.
Funny.
Okay,
Love it.
so we are on a time schedule, so let's go ahead and get started on, I'm gonna go ahead and do the motivational minute so we can get into, we have Rich Pisani, our amazing Rich Pisani, for until 12:30. So I want to make sure that he's able to share everything. So, okay, motivational minute. Be so happy that when other people look at you, they become happy too. Right? It's a thing. Right? It is such a thing. It is infectious. I know sometimes people are just like, can you just calm the F down? Okay. But be so happy that when other people look at you, they become happy too. Because sometimes you just may make somebody's day. Right? You just may be the energy, the influence, whatever to get them to change the trajectory of the rest of their day. Anybody have any comments they want to share on that quote? Alan? No. Okay, so we have important MLS dates, which Rich is going to go through with everybody. So July 24th, which is what, tomorrow, right? The new forms are in Win Forms. August 13th, CRMLS changes are implemented. And then August 17th, all other MLS providers implement the changes.
What's Win
I was
for?
gonna ask, is that different from zip forms?
Zip forms.
I know that. Oh, you know what Win Forms is? Is our old thing.
Okay. So zip, so this.
I'm like,
Zip form.
our MLS,
We did change.
10 years ago.
it's not 1997.
Oh my God. There's always a mistake that comes out every flipping team meeting. I was so proud of myself. Okay,
No, but zip forms.
zip form,
That's easy.
lone wolf, whatever we call it. R forms.
Power form.
Oh my God, that's so stupid. Okay. So before we have Rich speak, right? You all got, so broker moment with Rich Pisani and special announcement. Did everybody see my email of last night?
No.
And then my email, and then Rich's email, beautiful email this morning. Rich, where are you? I can't see your face.
I'm driving, so I don't have my plates up.
Lucky.
Sorry.
Well, I have to tell you, I mean, yeah, Rich and I have gone through thick and thin together over the last 5 years. It's so crazy. We've been working with together for 5 years. And when he told me the news a while ago, right? Did I cry?
Yes, you cried.
And did I have to exit the call? It was just like,
Yes.
wow. So you just never know how long or how short you're going to be in a relationship or in business with someone, etc. And I've enjoyed every single moment with you, Rich. I've learned so much. You've been my confidant. You've been everyone's go-to guy. right? For all the changes and all the crazy shizzle that we've been through over the last few years. So I can't thank you enough for all your contribution, your dedication, your passion, and your commitment to the Calabasas office and the other 3 offices that you were the broker of record for. And I know Calabasas was your favorite, for sure, right? I'm hoping.
Of
But,
course.
we love you. We love you, and we wish you nothing but amazing success and prosperity and all that good stuff on your next venture that's starting August 1st.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And you know, as I said in my email today, I've enjoyed working with everyone, and I've met some great people, and I really appreciate all of you, and I thank you also. So and I, since I am on the limited time, so I'm going to get right into it. There is one change that Stephanie made that announcement, and there's one change to that announcement because I got an email yesterday. We do have a couple of agents, I believe, that are with Gavar, and Gavar works under Flex MLS, and they announced that they are removing compensation from the MLS as of August 7th.
Oh,
So
wow.
we now have 3 dates.
Wow.
So Flex MLS with Gavar is removing it August 7th. CRMLS is removing August 13th. And as far as I know, all the other ones are removing it August 17th when the new rules go into effect through NAR. So tomorrow, as Stephanie said, the new zip forms come out. So unfortunately, what that leaves is, the listing agreement is changed. Cooperating broker compensation has been removed from that form. And until cooperating broker compensation is removed from the MLS, there is this gap where it is still allowable for the seller to give compensation, agree to compensation during the listing, appointment. And so the office and legal has gotten together, and we put together a form to be used during that gap. And that's why you should come to the class that I'm teaching tomorrow, because I'll have that form with me. So it allows the seller to commit for that short little period between the 24th and whenever your MLS removes compensation to offer cooperating broker compensation. And we had to do this because CAR also removed the cooperating broker compensation form. So there was no other way to do it. So, but it's only really good for that short period of time. So I want to let you know that. I've been getting a lot of calls saying, do I have to in the RPA use the SPBB? You don't have to if compensation is being offered in the MLS, because it's still being offered in the MLS. So if they're offering 2.5%, 3%, 2%, and you're fine with that compensation, then it's really not needed to do the SPBB. When it's going to kick into effect is when that offer of compensation is gone, and you need a mechanism to ask the seller to pay for that, to pay for your commission. So you use the SPBB in the RPA that says, I have a buyer broker agreement with my buyer, and I am asking for you, Mr. Seller or Ms. Zeller, to pay that obligation for the buyer. And that is once compensation is removed from the MLS. And once again, those dates, Flex MLS is the 7th of August, CRMLS is the 13th, and all others should be on the 17th. So I'm sure there's questions, so I'll pause here for some questions.
Yeah, so let's take these next 15 minutes while we have Rich. Again, he has his class tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We'll talk about that at the end of Rich's segment. But let's take these next 15 minutes to ask questions of Rich while we have him. Alan.
Hey, Rich, got a quick question for you. On closed deals, will the compensation still show up on the historical part of the deals?
Yes, it will. When, say you have something in active under contract that, and then once the offer of compensation is no longer offered on the MLS, that will stay on the MLS, but you will not be able to edit it. So, and then if it ever goes back to active, then that field will disappear. So yes, for historical reference, it will stay within the record.
That fried chicken? Smells good.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Something in the mood.
Sorry, Ben. I love you, Ben. Any other questions?
I have a question about that. So,
Roger, come over here so we can hear you.
but what about moving forward? If there is compensation in the future, will that be noted in the MLS?
No, that is what the settlement is all about, is that no offer of compensation can be offered
No,
in
no,
the MLS.
I'm saying if it's paid, so now it's not offered, but you know, Alan has a listing, I have a buyer. You know, his sellers agreed to pay me 2.5% for bringing that buyer. Does that now get reflected in the MLS so we all know the true cost of the home?
No.
No?
Well, it all depends. It all depends on how that was paid. If it was paid, if the seller paid it through the agreement of the SPBB, that probably will not be reflected in the MLS. But if it's paid through concessions, because part of the agreement is to allow sellers to pay, to give concessions to the buyer. And I know that CRMLS, when you close a transaction or listing in CRMLS, if there are concessions given, then they have different categories as to what those concessions go towards. So if some of it went towards repairs, some of it went towards the buyer's broker, then that would be reflected at that time. But if it's not done through concessions, then I don't believe it's going to be reflected in the record.
Okay. Christine.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Rich. Two things I was going to say. I have an offer out right now, sent it out yesterday in Newport. So I know the Newport Beach MLS, who knows? I don't know what their timelines or anything, but I do have a buyer's agreement, and I did use the SPBB just to back myself up, thinking that with this gap time, maybe there's going to be another form I need and everything. But because I didn't want to, I always use the CBC, but I didn't want to use it since I know that really was going away. So it was just kind of like just to back myself up and get my buyers seeing this form of what percentage they're paying and what would happen moving forward. The gap document that you're talking about, you said it was just for our office, or is this going to be something that's everybody's using?
No, it's just for our offices, for my offices. Because not CRM, sorry, CAR is staying away from anything to do with cooperating broker compensation. So they don't have that form as of tomorrow. So this is individual offices, and I know of other offices that are doing this also, that they're making up their own kind of CBC form for this gap period. It's dangerous after the gap period because you're basically doing what this whole lawsuit is about, forcing a seller to commit to cooperating broker compensation. So we all want to stay away from
that. If we use the SPBB right now in the gap, is that, do I still need this gap form?
If we're using, no, you don't. But
okay.
The form, the addendum is to the listing agreement. So it's added to the listing agreement for the seller to agree to compensate the buyer's broker, just as they did before in the agreement. So it has nothing to do with once you have an offer. I think once you have an offer, I'm thinking this out loud. Once you have an offer, then you should, if you're representing the seller, you should instruct the buyer's agent to do the SPBB. You can let them know they've agreed to cooperate, X amount of, percentage or whatever the dollar amount is, and to reflect that in the SPBB, and that would be the way to do it.
Okay, so just for this, while the transformation is happening with everything, I feel like I went forward and did all the forms that are the new forms with
Right.
it, so that I would, at least if I have to do any modifications or anything for my RPA, at least everything was there already. Okay, thank you. The other thing is, when you mentioned, or Roger asked that question, and I on that town hall, I took exactly what you just said, Rich, that they were going to have a space for concessions or everything to write out what they were specific for repairs. There was going to be categories, and then there was like another category. I saw that. So that should be easy for everyone. Thank you so much.
And this is CRMLS only. I don't know what other MLSs are doing, but just CRMLS.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
So the cooperating broker, the CBC, is going away tomorrow.
Correct.
And I've heard, so I just want to make sure what the rule of the law of the land is for our offices, your offices, right, regarding the CBC, because I know some people are downloading the CBC, so they have it. So can they still use that during this gap period, or that is completely off limits and we just use the gap addendum?
That's completely off limits.
Okay.
And you would, on a listing, you would use this gap,
Right.
this gap document. And downloading, you can't download a blank form. So I don't know what they're doing is they're filling it out and whiting it out. That's altering the form. So I would refrain from doing that. Also, you know, in this time, the single party compensation agreement is probably a good way to do things also, especially with leases. Because there's no real mechanism in a lease once compensation goes away for the tenant's agent to get paid. So you would have to have an agreement with the landlord to pay the tenant's agent. And I would recommend either a commission agreement or a single party compensation saying, and in the single party compensation saying that you're not representing the landlord, you're representing the, well, it says the buyer, I think. But it would still work. And I can't remember if on the commission agreement, whether it is flexible in that it goes either buyer and seller and tenant and landlord. But those forms are alternates to get paid in regards to leases.
Okay, awesome. And then can I ask one other question for what the rule will be for our offices? I also heard from another agent outside of our group, right? That they did not want to use the BRBC because they felt that that it was too intimidating, if you will, and that they were putting together their own buyer rep agreement.
But I mean, somebody within Keller Williams or somebody outside?
No, someone else, but I just want to make sure, like, hey, no, you have to use the BRBC, you can't modify or not modify, but create your own for these purposes.
Well, a brokerage can create their own forms. I mean, if they want to. You know, so if it's another brokerage that's coming up with their own forms, then you know, that's acceptable. And once the law goes into effect in January of 2025, the law isn't specific to a specific form. It's just specific that there is a written agreement between a buyer and their broker on how they're going to, you know, to work together and be and the broker being compensated. It doesn't say you have to use a BRBC. So it is possible to do as a brokerage to do your own forms, not as an individual agent, obviously. And so what I would say, as far as the offices are concerned, until July 31st, all of my offices will be required to use, you know, the BRBC. You know, the next broker may have a different feeling, and that's perfectly fine. But it has to be a brokerage that decides what they're going to do, not, you know, not an individual agent.
Okay, awesome.
And remember, in your ICA agreement, it does state that you well, there is something that we do use CAR zip forms. I know that doesn't really apply to commercial who you know, some use AIR, but when you're doing residential, it's especially, then it would be CAR zip forms and our own addendums from the brokerage.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Lynette.
I have one question, just for clarification purpose, is it true that there should be absolutely zero advertisement of a buyer broker compensation on a flyer, on a personal website, on any kind of promotional stuff that we do? Is that a violation?
No, it's not a violation. But here's what you need to be careful. Once the new rules go into effect, I mean, you may have an agreement of some kind, you know, with the seller that they're willing to pay concessions. or they're willing to pay the buyer's broker, if asked in the RPA. But it's not binding. So you can't say the seller will do this. You say the seller
You say consideration,
will consider.
yeah.
Will consider doing this, will consider paying concessions, or consider paying the buyer's broker. And you can do that on your marketing materials, and you can do that on your personal website. You just, cannot do that on any alternate website that kind of mirrors an MLS. It can't be organized like a, group gets together and we're gonna advertise all of our listings and who's paying what and all this stuff. You cannot do that. That's a big no.
Okay, then
Okay.
so when you said, I know Christine has a question, but when you said seller will consider paying, concessions or, compensation, can you state a specific amount or it just has to be vague? Like,
No, you can say up to.
okay,
So like on your promotional flyer, you could just put all the other stuff and then put
up to 2.5%.
as a little asterisk or as a bullet point. Seller will consider paying up to
Mhm.
3%
Correct.
commission and or concessions,
Correct.
something like that.
Something like that. I would
In your flyer, that's
just,
good.
I would choose.
On social media.
Here's where it gets a little weird, because CRMLS
Go ahead.
CRMLS allows, oh gosh, wait, hold on. Allows you to put a percentage of concessions. I wouldn't do that in the MLS, because you don't want it to look like it's just another, commission amount. I would say, I would just put that what the seller is or isn't in the MLS. I'm talking about. Some MLSs aren't allowing that. It's just a yes or a no, that they'll offer they'll offer concessions. So
So in the private notes as well?
yes, don't put it in the private notes. Don't put it in the private notes. No, on your marketing, I wouldn't put a a percentage or anything in the private notes. I would say sellers is willing to consider offering concessions. I would do that in the private note, about a percentage. In your marketing, yes, you could do that up to. But remember, nothing is, if the seller suddenly decides they don't want to do that, then that's not binding. Okay.
Okay. I know it's 12:31.
Yeah, I need to go. I'm sorry. I have a lawyer waiting for me.
All right.
So,
Can I just ask real quick, is the LCA
Sure.
staying, Rich? The lease rental commission agreement, because we can use that with housing providers and tenants. Is that staying?
as far as I know, it is.
Okay. That solves that problem.
Yes.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All the forums together and something.
All right, thanks, Rich. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich.
Thanks, Rob.
Okay.
I'll text you right now.
I know it's. Okay, we're gonna continue on with the meeting. Okay, we still have lots of information to continually unpack. Right, so just understand that, and make sure that you are all on Rich's class tomorrow. Cause he's gonna go over the revised listing agreement. We are gonna continue to have more and more trainings, information, so on and so forth. You know, like I said, this is a fluid situation and we'll continue. We'll be putting together, like I said, we got the language from the attorneys for the gap addendum. Right, so we're putting that, make it look pretty, Keller Williams, Calabasas, addendum, blah, 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 right? And then we also have to revise our other Keller Williams, Calabasas addendum to the RPA. Because there's some shizzle on there that we have to adjust. So we will continue to send out the information. What we are also working on is like a one sheet. Like, hey, need this with this, with this, with this, blah, blah, blah.
So there's the one like number 2 under where you put like KW affiliation, you also gonna check when you're gonna add in the gap thing.
Yeah, so we also, I mean, I'm sure you all can imagine what's happening behind the scenes. Trying to, you know, we have deer. That's why I drink all day long.
Is that what it is?
It's just like, whatever. So we have to revise the checklist. I mean, there's just a lot of dizzle in the background. So just trust that we are, you know, we're continually communicating with one another and just getting as much information as we can. So we can try to simplify this for you. And like I said, it's change. When you hear me on the mindset, just embrace it. Can't fight it because it's happening whether you like it or not, and really stay as focused as you can on bringing the business. Because if you get so consumed with all the shizzle that's happening, your business is going to go down, and then you're behind the 8 ball in your business. So make sure your non-negotiables are your income producing activities. More than ever, you should be practicing your scripts or practicing your stuff, you know, just to level up regardless of whether you've been in the business 20, 30 years or you're brand new. Okay, it's just a time to be the best that you can be in your profession and as a human being, right? And then, so that's number 1. And then number 2 is lead generation, lead follow-up, going on appointments and negotiating contracts. Those are the income producing activities in this industry. So make sure that you stay focused on that and just understand that, yeah, you know, just embrace it. It's here whether you want it or not. Well, so we, Kevin Sanderlin with Arbor Financial Group sponsored our lovely lunch. So thank you so much. And he's also, if you want to say a couple words real quick, and then he is also teaching a class after the team meeting. So he's talking about the summary intro to all loan programs and 10 ways your lender can help you grow your business. So if you want to promote that real quick.
Sure. Yeah, let's take a minute. So summary into all loan programs and how your lender can help you grow your business. I hope that you join me at 1:30 for a 1-hour session. Obviously, that's a lot of content to put into 1 hour. So it'll be a great opportunity to learn about some programs that you might not have heard about. That'll be real quick, but I encourage a lot of questions during the class. And then how your lender can help you grow your business. Since this is my official introduction to the office, I helped Stephanie's daughter buy a house a few months ago, and that's how we met. And I am a little bit of a perfectionist. I always try to have every transaction be a perfect transaction, and that one went perfectly, so that was great. And I really enjoy sitting down with realtors and helping them with ideas on how to get more leads, how to grow your business. So this is going to be an opportunity for me to give back to you and help you give some ideas of what you might be able to do to drum up some business and keep 2024 growing for you. So I look forward to seeing you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, Kevin. And again, please make sure whether you're on Zoom or in person that you stay and attend his training and his coaching, etc. You know, we just have a great opportunity to have, you know, 3 or 4 different lenders in the office. We have Cindy, we have Kevin, we also have Scott from PRMG. So we're getting him scheduled to come in as well. So we just have, because remember, we always want to make sure that we match, you know, because there's different loan programs out there. And then we always want to match our clients to the right personality, because there are sometimes, you know, we just can't have a one and done when it comes to different vendors, if that makes sense. So super excited. Thank you again for doing such a great job taking care of my daughter Bree on that. So we'll come back to Kevin in a bit. But before we go to survival of the fittest, just a reminder, Dave with my NHD has a couple words for us. Come on up.
Warm welcome. Thanks, Stephanie. Dave with my NHD, but for this office, it's Crest NHD. Your E&O is through Crest. We have a special relationship with Crest whereby when you order a Crest NHD report, and I'll be here after the meeting to take any orders if you have any listings. If I order it for you, make sure you just forward it to escrow, but with Crest NHD, same price, $74.95. We have what we call the seller protection plan. It gives the seller an additional $25,000 E&O insurance, which can be stacked upon 25 or 50 that they already have. They get a certificate. It'll cover any and all E&O items, and it's no additional charge. It gives you a competitive edge when you're going in on a listing. This is something that's only offered through Crest NHD. Another benefit of going with Crest NHD or my NHD, and I mentioned this before, and I'll leave these flyers out on the table back there. This is exclusive to us, myhascheck.com. It's a website or a tool you can go to. You can check and see any property in the United States if in a fire or a flood zone. It'll tell you whether or not it's AB 38 yes or AB 38 no, but it gives you that competitive edge. It's free. That's the best part about this. So if you're going on a listing appointment, you can know ahead of time if you're working with buyers, they don't want a home that's in a high fire, high flood. You'll know that ahead of time. Maps can be sent to them, but it's an advantage, another advantage you have going in for a listing appointment. On that seller protection plan, the seller will get one of these certificates, good for 180 days. They can renew it after 180 days for an additional $200. So we do the work, you get the protection, and my quote is, until there is a problem, there is no problem. So avoid problems, avoid risk, and thanks for using Crest NHD.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Yeah, Eric, the owner of my NHD, was in last week and he had me go to the site for that information that he shared with you. So I would highly recommend to do that. You just put an address in and it immediately lets you know what the map is for that day, right? Because you know, maps and all that kind of stuff are always changing and you'll know right then, hey, it's in the, like you indicated, a fire zone, flood zone, or whatever the case may be. And it actually shows the map. So it's pretty cool. So I would make sure that you get that on your phone as
Web address or is it only a phone app?
hey, you guys pay attention now. No, it's not an app, right? But it's on, so he'll leave the flyers out, Cindy, so then you can be able to get it.
Okay.
So, but I highly recommend you guys, each and every one of you guys and gals, and get that situated. Thank you, Dave. Okay, so remember, we've been talking about this all year. Survival of the fittest. Remember, it's a new world. Think, speak, and act differently. Sell your expertise, right? So we all knew this was coming. So really, and this is, when I talk about this, it's not only, let's see, hanging out, telling me to stop yelling. So with that said, yeah, we have to learn the new rules, regs, forms, this, that, and the other thing, and how to speak to it, right? But really, it's about knowing the business, being the utmost professional. So please really take the time just to focus on your skills and where you can, you know, sell your expertise and where you can get better. We continue to grow our beautiful Keller Williams Calabasas family. So want to everyone give a warm welcome to Angel, Lucy, Esperanza, Carmela, right, and Debbie. So super excited. And then we also added Chris Vogt onto the thing, right? So super excited about that. And I'll just get ahead of myself. So I'll just keep going, never mind. Okay, I'll just stay on track. So year-to-date top 10 in our office, Hirsch and Jared, Galoo's Group, Samantha Mitchell, Robin Nicky, Doug Pitts, Jordan Davies, Justin Bonney, Team Smith, woohoo! Team La Familia, and David Shemesh. Those are our top 10 through the end of June. So huge congratulations to each and every one of you. Okay. So important July dates. Obviously, you're all here, right? Oh my God, Monty. Seen him forever. Hey. So July 23rd, team meeting and lender training with Kevin. July 24th. Who's going to be on the call tomorrow at 4 p.m. with Rich Pisani?
Better raise your hand.
Okay, everybody be on there. And just so you know, we send out the videos every Friday. So Bree's going to be sending out the email on Friday with Chris's training from last Friday, today's team meeting, and Rich's class tomorrow. So look for that on Friday. So July 29th, we're having a celebratory happy hour for Rich to celebrate him, give him a gracious sending off. And then we're also going to have a meet and greet with Chris Vogt. And it's at Casalina. Casalena in Woodland Hills.
Which bar?
They have pretty much,
Upstairs and I put it outside.
Okay, we'll go up there.
Yeah.
I'll send a flyer.
Outside.
All right, so we want to make sure we are there. What? 4. 4. No one. I don't even know why I send emails, quite frankly.
Do.
July 30th on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Not noon, sorry, but 10 a.m. We're going to have a special Calabasas team meeting with Chris Vogt. So as y'all know, well, if you read your email, y'all know that, you know, obviously that Rich has a great opportunity. His last day will be July 31st. And then Chris Vogt, who many of you know, in the office, he's been doing some training and career development here. So he will be officially on board on August 1st. Right, so, but he is going to be in next week. Chris is going to be the broker of record for the Calabasas, Studio City, and West Side offices. Okay, all right. July 30th is the book club, and then July 31st, Cindy's Lunch and Learn. Okay. Important August dates. August 3rd, we're back to Zuma Beach, Tower 10, starting at 6 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock. Yeah, no, I'm just full shit, right? So no, it's from 10:30 to something like that, right? So we have the flyer. So make sure we had such a blast last year. So Monty, how are you? Good. And then Mega Camp, is it just you and I, Linda?
You and I. It's all good.
It's all good.
We're all we need.
We got Coopers and San Jack. Okay, August 11th through the 15th. We have a health day on the 17th, and then our only team meeting for August is August 20th. Here we have our July birthday babies. You see them all. Happy birthday! So we have some Cancers and Leos in there. So happy birthday. And then we have our anniversaries. Cherie, Josepha, Ricky, Donna, Lester, Stephen, Claudia, and Michelle Mandel. Something. Did I say something wrong again? I always pronounce everything wrong. Okay, June 2024, closed over 2 million in volume. Jordan Davies and Larry, Galoo's Group, Jasmine, Denise Mark, Samantha Mitchell, Doug Pitts, and Team Smith. They've had Team Smith has been on fire. May and June have been incredible months for you. I know. Absolutely. And then look at all our June closings. So awesome. So Hayla, Susie, Lee, Team Selick, La Familia, Jordan, Gus, Nieves, Galoo's Group, Mark Arbel, Christina Giddy, Yasmin, Christina, Kai. Really? That was awesome. Did we not have a Carrie LaSalle, Stuart, Lynette, Shahab, Linda, Monique, Julie, Dave, Omi, Diane, C, James, Jimmy. Well, that's awesome. Team Smith, Daniel, Steve Sachs, Aaron Rust, Eileen Rodriguez, Louisa, Doug Pitts, Samantha Terlin, and Denise Marks Group. Congratulations.
Right, you don't have to say my name.
But it was in July.
I don't know,
It was in June.
well, I had a lease closed.
Oh, is her name in here and I missed it? Where the fuck? Linda!
Sorry.
Come on. I'm sorry. Congratulations. So where are we? We brought in New World class talent. We brought in 35 people. We have 10 to 11 coming in this month. Gross agent gain up 12.9%. Listings taken up 80.2%. Listings volume up 84.2%, listings sold up 13.2%, and contracts written up 9.1%. There is business to be had, ladies and gentlemen. ATL productivity coaching update with Louisa. Come on down. Really quick. And I have a couple slides for you in there. I added them.
Oh,
Okay. I'm like, what?
okay, yeah, so, productivity coaching update, we have, the PC program has been really amazing, we've been working really hard, so we got, you guys saw Christina Kai is also on the productivity coaching program, she just closed the lead, she's here less than a month, and then we also have LaShawn Ortega, where's her last name? Which hopefully she's in there, she was actually in her first transaction, and she's been with us for less than a month, so she's a buyer's agent. So, I think that's it, right, for now?
Next one, push.
Oh, I pushed.
What I pushed. But cursor over.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so we've always talked to you guys about Chamber of Commerce's and like, groups outside the office to do like networking events. So I know we're gonna start like letting you guys know about events that's going on, like Calabasas Chamber of Commerce, which I didn't know we were a part of. We should be going there. They have a monthly luncheon in the new hotel in Calabasas, which is really nice. So this one is actually happening tomorrow, and this is with my Filipino American Chamber of Commerce. Don't listen to the whole Filipino thing. It's just, this is open for everybody, and this is actually a really good networking event because we're having a lot of government officials speak and talk about programs for business owners like ourselves, entrepreneurs and small businesses. I went to to this event last year, and like I got like so much out of it. Chase Business Bank was there, and they were talking about different programs that they have for small businesses like us, and a couple of officials, government officials that I didn't even know there was programs for us that like free, that we could even like, and they said like no one ever come up to them and ask about these programs. So it's like, it's open for every small businesses. If you know any small businesses, entrepreneurs, have them come in, check it out and see if any of them, whether the program is good or like just a networking events. There's like doctors, lawyers that's in this networking events. So if you guys wanna like, chummy up with other professions other than real estate agents, come on by, I'll be there, say hi to me, or not say hi to me, I don't care. But yeah, so that's that. Is that it? Is that all I have?
Yep.
Do I press nothing? Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Okay, it seems like we've had shots of espresso. It's just like, wow. Okay.
I think it's a shot of mimosa.
No. Okay, so I don't know if any of you have heard, but Keller Williams has given back 2 billion in profit share over the last 4 years. Is that true? I know we talked about that. So I just got that announcement. It was on our growth call yesterday. So just wanted to share with you, because they're all about profit sharing, etc. Hey, Mr. Mark, do you want to come say hi to everybody? Okay. Mark with lawyers. Woo! Come on down.
Hello, everybody. Mark Stipkovich with Lawyers Title. Believe it or not, I was actually one of the first people to step foot in this office, I think in 2004 or 5 when it originally got built. David Mayor's office was right over there. So been doing this about 22 years. For those of you who don't know me, my mom's been doing this since '83. Again, with Lawyers Title. If you're looking for an opportunity to kind of change your business, get different ideas about what to do, how to do it, how to generate leads, that's what I do, right? Title is easy, right? Really, really good at that. It's looking at your business from an individual standpoint, understanding where you can do a little bit better, where you can generate 1, 2, 3 more leads on every single transaction that you're doing. And if you do that, it's a big snowball and it just rolls into the next year. Really good with the tools, really good with the technology. So you don't necessarily have to be good at it. You can kind of lean on me for that. If you're good, you can run away with a lot of this stuff. So we'd love to meet with you guys. Just love an opportunity. Thank you for having me. And one-on-one, just set up an individual appointment. We'll dig into your business, figure out what you're doing good, figure out where you might be lacking, and see if I can help build your business. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. And then I think Lynette might have do you have a testimonial for Mark?
Me?
Yeah.
I think he's amazing. Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's helped me tremendously in a year and a half. He's helped me tremendously. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we have the summer book club with Brenda. She just does a great job preparing for this. It's the Comfort Crisis. I haven't read it yet. I don't know, what does it say? Embrace discomfort to reclaim your wild, happy, healthy self.
Definitely. I started reading it yesterday. It's so good.
Is it?
It's really good. Yeah. Like as soon as this meeting ends today, I'm going to go sit in the pool and read. I know I should be calling, but
I know, I'm gonna say something, but I don't want to.
I have a book I need to read. I have a commitment.
That's right. Thank you for sharing with that.
So good.
Yeah, so it's next Tuesday, the 30th at 4 p.m. Okay, and then I always want to acknowledge our incredible ALC for this year. Eileen, Philip, Jasmine, Sanaz, Alan, Roger, Louisa, Linda, and they, I couldn't do this without them, so just really in deep gratitude for each and every one of them, and wanted to thank them again publicly for their commitment to doing an amazing Ignite last week ago. And Lexi and Lynette, so I had other people do training as well outside of the ALC, so it was really a super successful and long day. So thank you again for your commitments. Also want to congratulate Mr. Doug Pitts on capping. Woohoo! He's at 100%. And then our very own Eileen, she capped as well. So congratulations. Getting that 100%, lady. Calabasas Escrow, again, thank you all for your patience and commitment to the office through our different transitions.
You forgot her
Shut
again.
up.
She said that you forgot her again.
Oh, God, okay. Then I'm gonna anyway, it'll be we have our next team meeting, which you'll be on. Goalie is our Calabasas escrow officer, so make sure that you reach out to her. I know she's getting a lot of requests for net sheets right now, which is pretty cool. And then we also, to let you know, have already hired an assistant. And I'm not going to state her name at the moment, but she is starting with us August 6th. So we'll have a full team again in our escrow office. So again, thank you very much for all your patience and support. So again, after the team meeting, we have Kevin doing his training, and then make sure, again, the class tomorrow at 4 with Rich, and then our broker tour on Friday, the 26th. So for those of you that still don't have your login for Michael Lewis Marketing Suite, make sure you get it from Bree.